This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Alright, hey, hi, hello there. Welcome to me shooting this video for the third time after recording for an hour and a half, but that's okay. Not bitter. Not even a little bit. So we're just gonna jump into this as quick as possible. It's probably gonna be one of my fastest intros. Thank you to everybody who supported this channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's gonna hit the thumbs up button. We hit 12K. We will be sponsoring another cat in the near future, probably closer to the end of the month when that sweet YouTube cash comes in. So just keep an eye out for that. I will let you guys know. There will be pictures as soon as I have them, and we will soon have a new tiny kitten mascot. Well, it won't be a kitten. I think they're full-grown cats for the most part. But anyway, keep an eye out for that. It is on its way. I'm going to be doing Amber's in a situationship. The real reason people are obsessed with me. Let's talk episode 12. This is not an Am Baby reaction because it's just one of her Q&As. I will probably be cutting some of the questions out because I think they're stupid. This is like the third time I've tried to do this video. I had a migraine all day long. I'm now in the euphoria stage. For those of you who know, you know. Happy you. Lucky you. Name that anime. Deep cut. Today is the 7th of July. Happy 4th for those who celebrate. I was gone. I came back. Stuff's happened. Foodies in Syria. Have fun with that. Amber did a live on Sunday. I wasn't here for it. I'm probably just going to wait for Salty to do a wrap-up of it. I don't usually do much with those for you guys anyway, so it's not a big deal for y'all. This is probably going to be edited, well, it is going to be edited by me because my goal is to have it up today, but who knows? It might not get edited at all. Sound seems to be okay, but I'm going to try to, I don't know. My AC is going to be on and off because it's either too hot or too cold. Good times. I feel great. By great, I mean I don't. So kind of a little spicy, kind of a little. Like I said, I've already watched this through almost completely twice now. But do I remember any of it? No. I don't. I do have her sped up to time and a half, so we will try to get through this. I have other things I do want to react to, so if you see me in this lovely state that you see me in now, with my super day, maybe I'll go put my eyebrows on. It's hard to see me my expressions when you can't see my eyebrows. Yeah, I don't have any eyebrows, but I don't give a shit. Y'all have fucked. I don't even know what I was saying there. Y'all will figure it out one way or the other. What else do I need to say? I don't feel good. And I don't care. All right, anyway. I don't think I have anything else that I need to prepare you guys for. Onward. I hope you guys enjoy. I feel like every time I come back from like a long weekend, I don't feel well, and I always tell you guys that, so I'm sure by this point you all are used to it, but here we are. Let's go.
Hello, welcome to another Let's Talk video.
Oh shit, I forgot about this.
So I'm sure you guys are expecting a what I ate today / weigh-in. I haven't had time to do that. The last few days have been super busy for me. I wasn't even able to live stream. I am rescheduling that live stream.
How busy is your life? I'm not trying to be that big of an ass. I know how busy my life is. How busy can your life be? You have less to do than I do. So.
Stream for Sunday.
Now, if your life suddenly got so busy, you're being absolutely calm AF for something truly traumatic to have happened. So, why weren't you available?
So my weekly live stream is still happening. Right. So I'm just now getting back to my normal routine, and I'm able to film this video, get back to vlogging because I haven't even been vlogging for my vlog for Monday.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's gonna come out today too. Looks like it's another twofer for you guys.
Just get right into it with Sip and Community. Could you explain why, if you weighed in at 5:46 on May 19th, did you upload a vlog on May 21st?
I feel like I should put the closed captions on for y'all. There you go. Because I'm not slowing this down, I'm sorry.
And you weighed in at 5:16. I talked about this in a whole video already, but my scale here at home was broke, and I did not know until I went to the doctor and it weighed me there. And in my head, I was like, there's no way that my scale at home is broke because I've been using it quite.
There's no way my scale at home could be broke, because how could my scale be at home be broke when the doctor's scale, which is like scientific measuring. I give up. You guys know what I'm trying to say. The doctor couldn't possibly be right.
Quite frequently, I was doing weekly weigh-ins for you guys.
Okay, so why would you assume that that means that your scale is correct?
And then I was like putting 2 and 2 together one day, and I was like, you know what? Like,
I put 2 and 2 together one day because like I was like, oh my god, the doctor who went to school for 20 years might actually know more than I do. Light bulb moment.
feel like I'm gaining weight. So there's like no way that my scale is accurate. So then I bought a new scale, and then that scale co-aligned with a scale that I actually use at the doctor's office.
I looked up co-aligned last time I tried to record this. It's not a word, but I was thinking, why isn't it a word? It makes sense as a word. So, I don't know. The other thing I was thinking last time I recorded this was that I would kind of really like an amberism dictionary, because some of the words she creates are actually fairly decent words. Not like hectacana is a fun word just because it's stupid. I enjoy the stupidity of the word hectacana, but like co-aligned is not a terrible word. It really isn't. It makes sense. It's not a word as far as I'm aware, because I tried Googling it and I can't find it. But coalesce is. Either way, that's not how the word would be used, the way she's trying to use it here. But anyway.
Show proof the DoorDasher story is real, you hog. I'm trying to
I don't know why people need to like name call like that, but
think of how I can show proof without doxing his name, because obviously I don't want to do that.
light bulb moment. Like, we'll just pretend like my head is the light bulb since I'm glowing like one.
I actually
Bing.
do have a way. I have
Told you, euphoria.
a screenshot of the notifications coming in that I actually took on my phone, and you can see my wallpaper. My wallpaper is Twinkie, which I'll show you here. And
Because there's absolutely no way to Photoshop any of this, but I don't think Amber's smart enough to do that, and I don't mean that as a dig. I just think Amber does not have the skill set to do it. I could be wrong. She has a lot of time on her hands. Amber's inherently lazy. I don't know why this would be the thing she decides to put the extra effort into.
you can see behind the notifications is Twinkie.
He's Twinkie.
So that's genuinely the only proof that I can show. And
I mean, I suspected that these might be real after the first set had a date and a timestamp on them, and those did match up with the live that she said was when she ordered the ramen. Just saying. I think it's weird that this guy... Okay, I already did a whole spiel about this, and it took me like forever to get through, so let me give you the condensed version. I think these might be real, and going with my statements from my past videos, if these are real, she should report him. Period. Is this something that does happen? Excuse me. Do dashers harass the people they deliver to? Yes, there's plenty of examples of this on the various Reddits that are for both dashers and people who use DoorDash. Do dashers get harassed by their customers? Yes. So it's a two-way street. Can dashers report their customers? Yes, I have done so. Can customers report dashers? Yes, it can be done. Okay. If this is real, do I think Amber should report him? Yes. Somebody left a comment about, like, it's strange to them that Amber, being somebody who claims to have been essayed in the past, wouldn't report him, or claims to have conflicting emotions about reporting him. That is not strange. That's one of those weird things that I don't know why it's so hard for people to wrap their head around. I don't mean that as a dick kind of a comment. I mean, like, people who have been essayed have very complicated emotions around future episodes of essay. So, like, just because you've had it in the past and you've dealt with it in the past does not mean you're, like, fucking bulletproof to it in the future. And also, statistically, unfortunately, if it's happened to you in the past, you're likely to have it happen to you in the future, which, you know, great, yay. But that's the point. So if, and I do believe that she has a shitty background, and it doesn't take much for me to believe that she has a history of essay. It just doesn't. She has all the signs of it, in my opinion. So for her to be like, yeah, no, I'm conflicted over if I should report him or not. that doesn't sound weird to me at all. Like, not even a little bit. The fact that she's on here showing us, giving us updates, talking about it. Oh my God, I was complimented, blah, 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 blah. I feel like that personally, I feel like that sounds like bragging to me. And that's why I'm constantly going, is this a real story or not? Because that's what makes me waffle, is this sounds like bragging. And that's weird to me. I think it's weird to brag about this. This is fucking weird. It's inappropriate and it's weird. And unless she's like into this guy and this is like her cute meat, even though she claims she's neither hetero or a bi, why would you care that the dude is hitting on you? That's weird. You don't play for that team, remember? So that's why I'm like, this is a strange story. Why do you keep bringing it up without the punchline of, and then I reported his ass? You know, that's the part I don't like. So for me, that's what makes this a weird story, is the bragging aspect of it. Her being weirded out by it, her not taking action on it, that's not weird at all. But also her not saying anything about it at all, that would be more in alignment for me, in my opinion, with somebody with a history of SA who also is not going to do anything about it, right? You typically aren't going to say anything. Like, you're not bringing any attention to it whatsoever because you don't want to deal with it. That's kind of the point. Like, the problem that a lot of people who have had SA in the past, the problem that they have with SA in the future or in the present is they don't want to deal with it. So they just don't. They don't talk about it. They don't mention it. If they bring it up, it's very quick. And if you're like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Nothing. I said nothing. Like, they don't dwell on it. They don't continuously bring it up every week. It's weird. This is weird behavior for me. That's my personal opinion. I can be wrong. Okay? Seriously. I'm not a doctor, not a therapist. That's just my opinion. You know, everybody's different. That's just me. All right? So there you have it. That's my opinion on the matter. As a dasher, as somebody who dashes and has since 2020, is through many iterations of this fucking app, by the way. So many different versions of this stupid app. Is it possible for this to happen? Yes. The thing that I don't like, the thing that is weird to me, let me play her a little further.
Obviously, in the screenshot, I am crossing out his name because I don't want to dox. Why don't you see a...
Okay, hang on. Let me back it up. The thing that I find the weirdest about this, though, is the amount of time that has lapsed during this delivery. And I know this sounds weird, but I, as a dasher, have never had a delivery stay active so long. And especially with the app today, which this is a modern delivery. This happened within like the past couple weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks, I think it is. Or it started within the past 2 weeks. And I think the most recent update, I think, is only 2 weeks oldish. So this is well within the modern era. Anyway, my point is, I've never had a dash stay active this long after I've cleared it, right? So for me, what's happening here, this is my opinion again. For me, what's happening here is either he is keeping the delivery open for some reason, and that is he has to be keeping the delivery open. Let me put it this way. He has to be keeping the delivery open because he's the only one that can clear the delivery. Like, she can't say, oh, it's been delivered, and the delivery can't be cleared on her end. He has to clear it. So he's leaving the delivery open because this is like a 5 to 6 minute delivery difference here between these messages. And I think one of the other ones was like 10 minutes after after the first message where he dropped it off. That's a huge amount of time, you guys. That's a lot of time for that delivery to stay active after he's delivered it. Because usually with the app, you drop it off And these are, she's saying these are hand it to me orders, which means she's like, oh, I pick it up from them, which means he's handing it to her. And it's different from the leave at my door orders, which is where they'll leave it at your door, obviously, and then they'll take a picture, right? So those are the ninja orders that you never see coming, right? The hand it to me orders are pretty instantaneous as far as clearing them out in your phone, right? You just tap the button and it says, I handed it to the customer, and poof, it's gone. You don't have to take a picture or do any extra steps, which is good and bad. But what it means is when you hand it to him and he clicks that little button, it clears that order off of his phone so he can receive another order. He can't receive orders while he's got an active order, right? Especially if he's got a stack. He might be able to get a stack order. But typically, if you've got an active order, you can't receive any new orders. So he's putting his income on hold here. So in my head, what's happening is he's either doing that for the specific purpose to harass her, to try to get her number, to each their own, or there's a new, and it has been around for a while now, this option of earn by time, which theoretically DoorDash offers you an hourly wage, quote unquote. Really what it is a per minute order or a per minute wage. You basically take whatever the offered hourly wage is and divide it by 60, and you find out what you're getting paid by minute, because you only get paid per active minute on an order. And so there are some people who will drag their feet on an order to try to milk it for as many minutes as possible. And one of the ways that they will milk an order is they'll leave it active longer than it needs to be, trying to get some extra minutes on their delivery, because they don't want to deliver cold food because that creates issues with the customer. But after I drop it off, I don't do that because the app is very big brother. It will keep track of you. It knows how long you're in a certain area. It knows how long you're doing. It knows how fast you're driving. It knows how hard you're braking. There's a lot going on with this app. Just FYI, you guys. If you don't know, this app is tracking pretty much everything except how hard you fart. And who knows? It might be doing that too. I don't know. The point is, if he's trying to milk this, if he's doing earn by time and he's trying to milk his orders, he's going to get red flagged. He's going to get flagged eventually. If he's leaving his offers, if he's leaving his orders open longer than they need to be and he's doing earn by order, he's going to get flagged. So one way or the other, he's going to get flagged for leaving his orders open longer than they need to be. So he's eventually going to get hit for doing this shit, if that's what he's doing. If he's leaving his orders open too long. Because it sounds like that's what he's doing, because this very first message from him, it says something like, I'm here, which would indicate to me that he's telling her to come down and get the order. Right? So he's sitting there. And the other thing is you have to be in the area of the drop-off in order to clear the order. Because if you're not within a very, very tight area of where that order is supposed to be dropped off and you try to clear the order, the app won't let you. You have to be in a certain very tight radius of the drop area to clear an order, right? If you're outside of it, the app won't let you, and you have to do a whole bunch of other shit to clear that order, including calling in the help desk. And if you do that too many times, your account gets hit, right? They're very strict, okay? So he's gambling here really hard to hit on her. So I don't know what's happening here. So he's either keeping the orders active for this purpose, which I think is fucking weird. And it's also dangerous for his account because he's basically breaking terms of service here. Or she's talking to him while they're doing the delivery. Like, this is happening while he's trying to deliver. And he's flirting with, this is flirting, sure. He's talking to her while they're delivering, and that's why this is taking so long. There's a back and forth that's occurring while the food is being dropped off. Because you can talk to me all day long while the order is active. I don't need to respond to you, but you can send me as many messages as you want while the order is active, right? I can send you as many messages as needed while the order is active, right? So that could be what's happening here too. But it just doesn't sound like it with this, like, I'm here order, or I'm here message being the first message. So, And then the wow, it's you again. Like that tells me he didn't know that was her until after he saw her. So he had to have handed her the order around 5 minutes. So at 6 minutes, he says, I'm here. She comes down to get it. He says, wow, it's you. And then from 5 minutes on, he's hitting on her again, right? So I don't know, is my point. That was probably way more about DoorDash than any of you ever wanted to know. My point is he's one way or the other, he's screwing around with his account and he's putting his account in jeopardy. Is she probably the only person he's doing it to? I highly doubt it. Is this something that happens, I won't say regularly, but is it something that people on the Reddits complain about? Yes, people do post, like most infamously, there's somebody, I don't remember the exact post, but somebody posted a message that they received from their Dasher of somebody posted like send nudes or something like that. And I'm like, please tell me that was a typo. And I'm really, because if it's not, I'm really hoping that dude's account got deactivated because this shit is not acceptable. Period. End of discussion. I don't care how hot the chick is. I don't care. Period. End of discussion. Not appropriate. You are at work, my dude. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about this one. Do I personally think Amber should report the guy? Yes. Do I understand somebody with Amber's background not wanting to report the guy? Yes. Do I think Amber's bragging about it? Yes. Am I 100% sure it's for real? No. But the more she does actually show, the more I'm a little bit more convinced, especially after the first set of messages. That one really got me thinking that those are actually real messages. And with this thing, I mean, you can Photoshop anything. Yes. I don't believe Amber. I just don't think Amber has the wherewithal to do it. You know, she's just inherently lazy. Why this? Of all the things that she could come up with, why this? But anyway. And I do know that if I don't see this in a Dank Fupa episode coming up soon, I am going to be very disappointed. I will be very disappointed if we do not have an innocent DoorDash person being accused of hitting on our girls. All three of them at the same time. Don't make it the one girl though, because that won't be as funny. Maybe like, oh no, her brother's the cop though, isn't he? I thought they were together and I thought that was precious, but no, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, lay off. Look, man, if you understand, you have the migraines with the euphoria. You get me. You get where we're at. All right, anyway, that's all I wanted to say about this one. Okay, sure. Let's go.
Dietitian regularly. I actually thought about it. Last time I saw a dietitian was in 2023, and it's like I know all the knowledge, but I think having that type of support would be nice.
The first time I recorded this, I made some tirade about knowledge. She doesn't actually have the knowledge she thinks she does, because if she did, she would be implementing it, because I think implementation is part of knowledge. So that was my argument. Amber and a lot of the FA people, the fat acceptance people, and a lot of the people on 600 Pound Life, they like to be like, yeah, I know everything I need to know, yada, yada, yada. And I like when Dr. Now will call them out and he'll be like, well, then why aren't you doing it? And I think the point there isn't like him being sassy. I think his point is you don't know. You think you know, but you don't. Because if you did, you'd be implementing it. And I think that's the point here. Amber thinks she knows everything that the dietitian is going to say. And she thinks she knows everything she needs to know about dieting, but she doesn't, because if she did, she'd be doing it. And I think that knowledge of how to implement it successfully is part of knowledge, right? If that makes any sense to people. But anyway, so I think you can sit here all day and be like, I know what I need to know. I know everything there is about dieting. Cool, but if you did, why aren't you doing it? And if somebody wants to sit here and be like, well, because I don't have the discipline. Well, that's part of the knowledge. So my point still stands.
How do you really feel about the disconnect and lack of trust between you and your viewers?
This is a really interesting question.
I feel like there's a section of people who don't trust me, and there's a section of people who do trust me.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like in the section of people that don't trust me, there's a section of people that choose not to, and a section of people who genuinely have a reason, because
I think that is really interesting for her to admit. There is a section of people within those who don't trust me who genuinely have a reason not to. So you admit that you are an inherently distrustful person. No. Distrustful means you distrust people. You are inherently dishonest person.
I feel like the section of people who like choose not to trust me, that's the trolls, it's the haters, it's the people who genuinely just live to see me fail.
Just because we react to you doesn't mean we're living to see you fail. You fail, and we react to it. There's a difference. I don't live to see you fail. I would be quite happy if you would quit doing it, honestly. But
And they live to catch me in lies or expose me or start rumors. Like, I'm not.
a lot of people don't seem to really live to see you do that. They just get flabbergasted that you keep doing it like you're some kind of fucking genius, like you're Lex Luthor over here, and you're not. You're one of the worst manipulator and liars. Not the worst. Okay, I'm one of the first people to defend the fact that you actually are fairly good at this in person. You're not smarter than the internet, and you act like you are, and it pisses people off. And when you irritate the wrong people, that's when they decide to make you a special project. And that's when you start getting people like the compilation channels who will do deep dives into your back catalog to find all of the times that you've talked about your teeth. Which I didn't need in my life, but now I have. And now anytime I need to know how many times you've talked about your teeth being nasty, I can go look that up and I don't have to do that work myself. So I appreciate that those people exist and that they do that work for me, but I hate teeth. So I didn't need that in my life, but here we are. My point is, they're not doing it because they're like sitting around going, what compilation should I make next? That's not what's happening. You start doing something stupid. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a compilation of all the times you've talked about your DoorDash drivers coming out real soon. Don't get me wrong. I can feel it coming. But that's kind of the point. You make these blanket statements of like, I have never had the same DoorDash driver twice. And I'm positive there's at least going to be one compilation of somebody who's gone through all of your fucking videos to see how many times you've talked about your DoorDashers, to see how many times you've talked about having the same dasher twice. It's that shit that gets you.
I'm not even going to include them into this answer, but the disconnect that I have between the people who don't trust me but want to, it makes me sad. And
When did we start talking about people who don't trust you who want to? You mentioned people who don't trust you because they're trolls and they want to distrust you. And you talked about people who distrust you because they have reason to distrust you. You didn't talk about people who distrust you but they want to trust you. That would also imply that the people who want to trust you don't trust you because you've given them reason not to. Right? I want to trust you, but you keep proving to me that I can't. That's how that statement plays out. I don't not trust people because I have some inherent inability to trust people. I don't trust you because every fucking time I try to, it gets twisted around on me and I realize that you're lying to me, which is why I just don't trust you. All right? There are certain reactors who I watch, who I love dearly, who for some strange reason get caught up in your bullshit every goddamn time. And every time you lie straight to their face and they don't see it coming. And I think it's precious because there are still people in this world who are like innocent enough that they don't see your shit. And that actually gives me hope in humanity. But at the same time, I'm not one of them. Okay? So I guess there are people out there who want to trust you. But even then, when it does finally come out that you're lying to them, they're upset because they fell for it. But it's not because like they want to trust you. They just want you to not be a shit person for once in your life.
And I wish there was a way that I could like prove myself to them, but I know that I can't because no matter what I say or do, sometimes it's just not enough. But I'm hoping with time, and I'm hoping with my word, and I'm hoping with like showing the side of me that is true and real and honest.
You have. And that side of you that's real and true and honest is the part that constantly proves to them that you're lying and that you cannot be trusted.
So as fun as that was, we are going to move on to the interview.
God, this section. Oh. I will be chopping several of these.
Hey, girl, hey, just coming off a work shift. Sorry if there's noise in the background. Would you ever visit Canada? And
Canada.
What do
This will be one of them that I'm cutting out.
you think of like goth style, like goth girls? Also, would you like get any tattoos?
So 1, would I ever visit Canada? Yes. 2, what do I think of goth girls? I love the aesthetic. 3, would I ever get any tattoos? Yes, I really do want to get some tattoos. I have some tattoo ideas, but I'm just scared. I have a really high pain intolerance.
Okay, but I'm not cutting that part out. I have a really high pain intolerance. So their hand just hovers, just hovers over the needle, and you're like, oh God. It's like that scene from Deadpool 2 where Cable's like gonna interrogate the little buddy guy and he just starts babbling. And he like gets a pain hard on and he's like, don't look at it, it makes it worse. That's what you have? A really strong pain intolerance? Okay, anyway, sorry.
Hi, baby! So, my name is Isaac. I've been watching you for so many years at this point.
Wow.
I feel like I know you more than my closest friends. Like, so my question is, sorry, I projected a little gummy, if you will. Anyway,
Okay, pop
so
off.
my question is, what do you think makes you...
Why do people who partake in 420 culture, why do they have to announce it? Like, why do I have to know? It's like, is someone high? Don't worry, they'll tell you. I guess it's the same thing as like drunk people who are just like, I love you, man. It's like, it's the same thing, only like they have to like announce to you that they're high. And like, I don't care. No one cares.
Do you stand out? Like, why people are so obsessed with you? Like the compilation videos, the reaction videos, the constant obsession. I just wonder what you think about it. How you feel. But yeah, I mean, I can't say the same. Like, I've clearly been watching for years too, but what is it? What do you think it is? All right, bye, love you.
All right, Isaac, I have a question for you, my man. Other than why do you need to announce to me that you're, high? Why are you watching? Huh? Take it one step further. Why do you know that there's compilation channels? Why do you know that there's reaction channels? You're clearly doing more than just watching Amber. So you're very versed in the girl verse. Ask yourself, because you're obviously in the mind frame of this, why are you obsessed? Because whatever your answer is going to be is probably why at least a chunk of the population of the girl world, why they watch. I'm just saying you can answer your own question.
I love you too. Genuinely, I think like what it used to be for sure, especially like 2019 era, was just like the train wreck of it all. Like there is a 570-pound girl just like posting the most craziest things. I would do so many mukbangs. Like it was definitely trolling. Like 2018, trolling. 2019, trolling. And that was...
I started watching her probably around that time. And I was absolutely fascinated by the fact that she was two perfect spheres stacked on top of each other. And I did not realize people like this existed. My friend sent her videos to me, and I watched a couple, and I was just stunned that someone like her existed in the real world. And I was hooked. So yes, I guess the train wreck aspect of it is what sucked me in.
That was when I really started to like...
And then I started watching reaction channels because her actual videos were just... I couldn't watch her videos, but then I started watching... I think it was Kicking Geese. I think Kicking Geese was the first reaction channel I watched. And then I watched some others, and they're not... Most of them don't react anymore, sadly.
Pick up on all the traffic, the people watching me. And even when my life now is more just like calm and bland.
Bland is one word. But to be fair, your life was always kind of bland.
And peaceful. And I wouldn't say I'm a train wreck per se. Like I'm literally just a...
You're like the train wreck at the final stages of the wreck. You're like the train wreck at the part where all of the back cars are just kind of smashing into the front cars now.
normal girl. Yes, I might be...
I think it's cute that you think you're a normal girl.
super morbidly obese, but it's more common than you think. Just a girl.
It's not. It's really not. You're cruising at 600 pounds. Do you understand that there's a reason why the 600-pound life show is a thing? Because there's not a lot of 600-pounders. Period. And actually, most of those people now are over 600 pounds. But that's kind of the point. There's enough of them to carry a show, but there's not that many people in the world. You're going to later on tell us that your BMI is somewhere around 94. That's massive. That is literally over 3 times what my BMI is. And I'm obese. Medically. I mean, I am theoretically obese because medically that's how that definition comes out. I'm just pointing this out to you, Amber.
Who lives a normal life?
No, you don't. This is not normal. Your life is not. Your life is normal for like a 93-year-old.
I do have some unique things about me, sure, but I just
like being 600 pounds at the age of 34.
I don't think that I'm special in any way. So
yeah, you do. I'm sorry. There's a face.
I do have some unique things about me, sure, but I don't think that I'm special in
any way. Is that the face of somebody who doesn't think they're special?
So I almost wonder if like what keeps up the obsession from people is it's almost like mob mentality.
I agree with her, actually, from here on out.
Where everyone is kind of feeding off of each other, whether it be through like subreddits and forums and chats and like the reaction channel comments and just the reaction channels in general. It's just like, it's keeping up this energy that is constantly being like spider webbed into new people and new.
So descriptive. She's just weirdly descriptive. Anyway, I do agree with her that the spider-webbed community, if one will, I do think the fact that there are subreddits and chats and all of this good stuff, I think it does keep the community alive because that's what it is. It's a community. So yes, I do agree with her at that point. Do I think it's a mobbish mentality? I think there's aspects of it that can be, and I think there's various communities that could definitely be classified that way. But I also think that there are other communities, and I would say honestly the majority of the communities are not like that. I think they're more people who are like me and just like, is this person for real? Or they're just people who are kind of been watching her for a long time and they're just kind of flabbergasted with her behavior, or they're not necessarily like, honest to God, they're not really that nasty. Somebody on here eventually calls her like a hog or something, or maybe they've already done it, and I'm just like, unnecessary. Unnecessary roughness on the play. But, you know, most people just want to call her out for her stupidity and her shit behavior, and I don't think that's uncalled for.
Audiences, people wanting to belong in a community, and
this part really chaps her ass.
They found one, and I don't know. It's definitely crazy. I feel like
people who really want to belong to a community and they found one. It really chaps her ass that there are communities, whole ass communities out there that exist solely around her and girl world that she does not have control over, because Amber wants that. She wants community. She wants a community that she has control over that is her based. That's why she started the membership thing, is because she wanted to build a community or a community space where people would come together to talk about her, around her, that she had control over. And that's how she treats her lives. That's why there's no format for the lives. There's no anything for the lives. It's just her and the chat. And that's why they're boring as fuck, is because it's just her and whatever stupidness the chat comes up with that night, right? If the chat isn't there, it would just be Amber doing this. That would be what her lives are, because that's pretty much what they are now, except occasionally she'll say something to the chat. She'll read the chat and comment on it. But what she wants is, she wants a Discord. You know, she wants that Discord style community, or she wants a subreddit style community where people know each other and they know each other's names and they comment back and forth on each other and they ask each other how they're doing and that kind of thing. And they ask her how she's doing, sort of a thing. She, like the other day, Window wasn't there, and everybody was like, oh my God, where's Window? And she was very like, oh yeah, where is Window? That's what she wants. She wants that kind of like Cheers kind of an atmosphere. But she's boring as fuck. She doesn't have any kind of structure. So there's no reason for people to congregate around her in that kind of a community kind of aspect. She's certainly not a community style leader. So, I mean, what community aspect are we collecting around you for? Your freaking card readings? Those things are the dumbest thing on the planet, right? And there's a lot of things in your chat I don't have any desire to go near. But it really upsets her that there are whole ass communities out there where people that are quite robust and healthy, where people do congregate and talk about not her things, but the reason that they started going to those communities was because of her and other aspects of Girl World, right? The Discords that I'm in, the reason people are there are either the reason that they stopped in originally were because of her or one of the other girls from Girl World. And then there's other reasons why they stay. There's crafts, there's animals, there's cooking, there's mental health, there's just goofiness in general, you know?
Like if all of that disappeared one day, I still would be able to make a living here on YouTube.
No. She says, I feel like if all of that, meaning the Reddits and the communities and all of those things, if they all just went away one day, she'd still be able to make a living on YouTube. No, you wouldn't. You would not. You might be able to be monetized. You might be getting some money, but this shit, this apartment, the shopping, the Lego sets, the medical care, no. You would not be able to afford any of that. You would still have to work part-time. You wouldn't have anything. Nothing like what you have now. You'd be living with your mom. Okay? No.
Because I do have a lot of like supportive people who.
No, you don't. You don't have enough people to support you. You don't. That's why every time when you lose one of your major reaction channels, why your views take a hit. Because your viewers are dependent on who's reacting to you at what time. You keep giving Zachary Michael shit because he doesn't cover you anymore. I'm sorry, that they don't cover you anymore. Have you seen your numbers since Zachary Michael quit covering you? Just asking. Just want to know. Just asking for a friend.
Who like aren't quote unquote obsessed with me. They just like watching my videos, and I'm just very grateful for anyone who clicks on my content and watches me.
You're welcome.
Hello, thank you for accepting my request.
Of course.
I wanted to ask, why do you think your weight loss has been so unsuccessful? I know people have different measures of success, but if you view it from an objective standpoint, you've been on your weight loss journey for over 10 years, and all you've...
She's going to interrupt this woman. I'm going to interrupt her too. She's going to interrupt this woman so many times to like adjust the time period that she's going to adjust the time period that Amber's going to adjust the time period that she's been on her weight loss journey. Then she's going to adjust the amount of weight that she's gained during this weight loss journey. And she just keeps correcting this person and making it sound like to make it be a longer weight loss journey than this woman is mentioning. The point is, doesn't matter. The woman's observation still stands. You have failed at this journey for online. It doesn't matter if it's real life or online. You have done nothing but fail at your weight loss attempts, period. So it doesn't matter how long it's been. It doesn't matter when your first diet was. It doesn't matter how much you've gained. The point is you have failed consistently. Why?
You've really done is good.
I'm gonna pause it real quick.
Yep.
I've been on my weight loss journey
I'm gonna let you finish, but first.
publicly for over 10 years, but my first diet was when I was 10, and I'm currently 34.
Is it 8? Is it 10? Or is it 11? Pick.
So I've been trying to lose weight for over 2 decades, for 24 years. So it's just publicly I have shown it for the last 10.
Go from being in the 300s to the 500s. And
My first diet ever, I was 10 years old. I was in the 200s somewhere, and here I am all the way up in the 500s, and
6.
my highest known weight was 572.4. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's the other thing that I mentioned the first time. I know you guys didn't see it, but I remember it. She's like, my highest known weight. She knows she was bigger than 600 pounds. She just never weighed herself, so she never saw the weight on the scale. So that's how she's like skirting this whole thing. Like, I was never 600 pounds because I never saw the weight on the scale. You were over 600 pounds. You just never weighed yourself. So you never officially saw the little number on the little readout. We have eyes. You were over 600 pounds.
And I think it's hard for others and myself to rationalize this because
it is hard for people to rationalize. And I love the show 600 Pound Life because it shows that people who reach this size, because I get it, there's like levels to these things, like overweight, then it's just like, okay, you're morbidly obese, then it's like
just like, okay, you're obese.
Like, okay, you're super morbidly obese, and then it's just like there are a few classes to it, and I've reached the point where it's like I am at the highest, and I'm fully aware that like my BMI used to be in the hundreds. My BMI now is 94, and that's still really bad.
Okay.
But for one's BMI to get that,
I like how you've rationalized that. It used to be in the hundreds, but now it's only 94. Your BMI is over 3 times what mine is.
High, and for one's weight to get that high, you have to go through a lot of trauma in your life.
Your BMI is like 4 times, something close to 4 times what is considered normal. I mean, it's not quite perfectly 4 times, but it's pretty close.
Trigger warning, whether that be emotionally, physically, sexually, you have to go through a lot. And I have gone through every single one of those things. Like I was
kind of like how you have every single one of the BPD categories things. I don't even remember anymore. We haven't mentioned BPD in a while.
in foster care. Like, you're not in foster care just because. And even in foster care, I went through a lot. So it's me not healing all those things at the time. And then even as an adult, like finding it so hard to like speak about the hard things.
Talk about.
And wanting to heal and figuring out why I am the way I am. It's just like this constant vicious cycle.
So you're admitting that you don't want to do any of the healing or the work to get better. So you literally just admitted that. Okay, just checking. I just wanted to make sure. Finding it hard to talk about and
things and wanting to heal
and wanting to
and
heal,
figuring out why I am the way I am
and figure out why I am the way I am. Yeah. So yeah, you basically just said that you don't have any interest in healing or figuring out why you're fucked up. Okay, cool. I've said that for years. It's just good to hear you actually admit that out loud.
It's just like this constant vicious cycle.
You've had multiple
It's not a vicious cycle. You just choose not to change.
health scares / struggles throughout that time, which would motivate a lot of us to take the weight loss really seriously. You know, from being unable to do normal activities like traveling and walking to literally having cancer. Like one of the worst things imaginable, really.
Yeah.
So surely with all of these things, you would be eager to improve and, you know, lose the weight so you can enjoy your life. And
that's how I know it is a mental thing and it's not like a choice.
It's still a choice. Who makes your choices for you, Amber? Do you have a magic 8-ball that makes your choices for you? Because, like, I mean, yes, mental things is hard, or mental things is scary, are scary. That's the quote. Mental things are scary, but you're the only person who can do that. There's not like a second you out there that's not making the, I mean, what?
At all. And I know a lot of people, they look at bigger people and they think that we're choosing this life.
Because you are.
I'm telling you, 95% of us are not choosing this.
Who's choosing it then? The little green man in the corner, is he choosing it for you? Is he's like, nah, Amber, today we're not doing that today. That's not on the agenda today.
It is so mentally exhausting to be an addict of food.
It's mentally exhausting to be an addict of anything. That's kind of what goes with being an addict. Don't get me wrong. I've never had to recover from something like that, so I am conceptually aware of it. However, the only person who can get you better is you. Your mom is a really good example of that. Your mom didn't get clean until she decided to. You don't see your mom sitting over here being like, oh, it was mentally exhausting, so I just didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I didn't have any control over it. It was mentally exhausting. I had no control. You don't see her doing that. So obviously it can be done. You're just choosing not to. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
And to have turned to food since you were just a little child.
You're not a child anymore. You're a 34-year-old adult. You're not even like a young adult anymore. Like you can't even play off of the I'm young and stupid. You're 34 years old.
I have a whole family of addicts, and I'm not the only food addict. Like
Okay, and your point.
my grandma, she has passed away. She was over 600 pounds.
Were you trying to catch up with her?
And it definitely is not only environmental, but it's mental.
It's completely environmental, but go on.
And it's also genetics
There's no genetics, but go on.
and hereditary and all
It's not hereditary, but
that
go on.
stuff. So
You all will argue with me down in the comments section, and that's fine. But until I have some really hard evidence otherwise, it's not hereditary and it's not genetic, but it's fine. I know there'll at least be like 2 or 3 of you who will be like, yeah, no, it's not, but it's fine. Genetics may load the gun. I've still not seen anything, literally anything, that convinces me that way as far as like what she's arguing. But even if genetics are involved, it loads the gun. It doesn't pull the trigger. That's still a choice.
it's a mixture of like so many things.
Be healthy, but every diet is unsuccessful and you end up making excuses for yourself.
I don't always make excuses.
Yes,
I
you do.
have, yes. But I have a lot of reasons for the way that I am.
You're literally making excuses as to why you make excuses.
And I recently, like even publicly, I was like, can you guys help me like figure out like what is the difference between excuses and reasons?
There aren't.
Thankfully, I now have a clear picture of that. But
I'll tell you guys right now, in my opinion, y'all can argue again. There aren't. There isn't a difference. There isn't, in my opinion. I've never been one to accept that. Used to drive my teachers crazy because they always wanted, if I didn't complete an assignment or something, they always wanted me to have an excuse or a reason. And I'm just like, I didn't do it. And that just would piss them off. And I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. It didn't get done. That gets so mad with me. I'm like, what do you want? I'm being honest with you. I mean, yes, some excuses are better than others. My appendix exploded and I needed to go to the hospital. Okay, sure, that's a pass, you know? But the end result is still the same. Whatever it is that was supposed to have been done still isn't done.
yeah, I have made some excuses in the past and I'm not perfect, so I probably still do to this day.
You're doing it right now.
But I do have a lot of reasons for the way that I am.
Excuses.
And I am trying to work on that.
Sorry if this is mean or if it's really long.
It's not mean at all.
It's not. It's holding you accountable. You're missing the point. I have a hair. No, that's your camera. It sure is.
I just didn't want to like sugarcoat it. But yeah, thank you for listening. Have a good day.
Oh, of course. I hope you have a good day too. And that was not mean. Like, that was like true constructive criticism.
You're not going to listen to any of it.
Like, I know a lot of people think that if I receive something like that, I think it's hate. I don't think that's hate at all. I think that's very valid. So thank you for feeling comfortable to share that with me.
It's called accountability. I don't think you understand the difference.
Don't be.
My question would be, have you ever considered getting a food scale when counting your calories? Because I've lost over 80 pounds
I do have one.
now.
Congrats on your freaking weight loss. Hell yeah.
I love how fake she is whenever she's complimenting somebody on their weight loss. You can tell that she's doing it because she thinks she should, not because she actually feels good for them.
say fucking weight loss and then I stopped myself, but congrats on your fucking weight loss. I had to have emphasis in there because 80 pounds is amazing.
80 pounds is good.
It's been a process, but in the beginning when I was counting my calories, I was greatly underestimating how much I was actually eating.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the proper measurements for it. And a serving size, I thought, like in my head, I was eating the serving size, but I was actually overeating.
Yeah.
And so once I started weighing my food on my food scale, I noticed a significant difference and I'm actually able to stay under my calories.
And random fact, she still has a little more to go, but I just pause it for a second. Random facts, what measuring your food is not as like reliable. Like something on the back of a nutrition label, it can say like half a serving, like half a cup is a serving. But when you go to weigh it out, if it says 28 grams, it's like, it doesn't match. So what's more reliable is definitely weighing your food. I definitely agree with this 100%.
So just wondering. And then also with like certain packages, it'll say a certain weight, but if you weigh it, sometimes it's heavier. So it's actually more calories. So it might say like it's 100 calories for that item, but it actually is more if you weigh it. So
Oh my God, I
just a
literally just said
thought,
that.
hope
Oh my god. You guys are like on the same brain cell or something.
you have a great day. Say hi to Twinkie.
Of course,
Okay,
of
bye.
course. Bye.
Here's the thing. I need to turn my AC back on. Here's the thing though. It's not rocket science. The thing is consistency. If you want to weigh your food, weigh your food. If you want to measure your food, measure your food. Just use the same set of measuring utensils. It's the same thing with the scale. If you want to use the scale at your doctor's office, use that scale. If you want to use the scale at home, use that scale. Just be consistent. Don't try to like juggle it back and forth. Alexandra Rodriguez runs into this problem with her Weight Watchers points. Like sometimes she'll use points from a measurement and sometimes she'll use points from the scale. And that's going to give you like vastly different readings because, or vastly, whatever. I don't quite, no one understands Weight Watcher points, which is the other part of the problem. But anyway, just be consistent. It's not fucking brain surgery or rocket surgery or whatever it is. Like, it's just be consistent. You don't have to make it so goddamn complicated. Some people really want to be like super freaking accurate, and so they prefer to weigh everything. And I think that is actually the most accurate way to do it. Cool. Knock yourself out. Some people don't care that much, and just making sure you're eating one serving by what the package says is enough, right? The calories aren't going to be that accurate anyway. They're off by several calories anyhow, even by weight. So even by weight, you're probably not eating, if it says it's 100 calories per 28 grams, it's probably not actually 100 calories per 28 grams. They're just guesstimating anyway. So, you know, it's kind of the point. Just pick one and stick with it. Consistency. You know, don't measure your food and also weigh your food. Somebody was talking about baking and like, we were talking about the eyeballing the baking soda thing, and like several of you were like, you guys don't weigh your baking stuff? And I'm like, well, no, I use cups. I measure by cup. You know, like that's just how I was taught to bake, but I don't weigh half of my ingredients and measure the other half. I measure everything. So that's kind of the point. I guess over in Europe, it's way more common to weigh everything. I wouldn't try to weigh and measure. It would be one or the other.
Okay, hi Evelyn. I need your opinion on situationships.
Sorry.
Like, how do we feel about them?
What is a situationship? What is a situationship in the modern era, and what did we call them back in the 90s? I need this put into like Gen X speak for me, because I'm confused. I don't understand is situationship like when you're talking, it's before you're going steady? before you're exclusive, is that what the situationship is? Before you're exclusive, you guys are just talking, you're not exclusive yet?
I have been in a few myself. For me, it's
all of them. I'm just gonna go with the definition of a situationship is talking. That's the talking stage.
situationships are hard because my feelings grow.
Isn't that kind of the point? You get into a situationship and that's the point. You're like testing the waters. You want to see if it's gonna work out. If you want to go to the next step.
I'm even loyal in a situationship. Like I.
No, you're not. And we know that because everybody you've ever been with has said so, including yourself.
Will not talk to anyone else. Like you.
We know from your own mouth that you have a harem of women at all times who are just waiting to get with you. Cool beans. I don't get it, but that's cool. I mean, cool. It boggles my mind, is what it goes. But you don't maintain a harem of people who just want to jump you at any given moment without talking to them in that way constantly, right? People don't just you don't just put people on hold, and most people will not just sit there and wait for you to go. It just doesn't happen, right? Most people have lives or they'll move on. That's how this shit works. There are some people who will not. But unless you've just managed to find every single one of those lesbians on the planet, which I guess could happen. The point is, you have admitted this. Your exes have told us this. So we know that you have a very healthy reputation of maintaining this stable of women who are just ready, and some men who are just ready to go. Like, I don't not believe that you have one or two people that you are currently talking to. Like, everybody's always like, oh, she's with somebody. I don't think she's actually with somebody. but I think she's definitely talking to people, multiples. So, like, I don't think that she's dating for sure, but I definitely think she's talking to people because that's just her MO. She's like a serial situation shipper. Is that a thing? It is now. So, you telling me that you're a monogamous situationship person, I don't believe for a second. Now, I think, this is my opinion, I think much like Amber believes she's a caring empath, or in that she's a giving person, I think she does believe those things. I think she also believes this. I think she also believes that she's loyal and that she doesn't cheat. But Amber also has these very conditional definitions of what is and isn't cheating for her. Not for other people, for her. And those definitions do change and morph depending on her desires and her situation. So, you know, if at some point it does become cheating, she just changes the definition so that it no longer is. Therefore, she is not cheating. Ergo, she is always loyal.
You are it, and that is that. That could be a BPD thing. I don't know, but I'm a very loyal, committed person.
I doubt it.
And I'm also very jealous,
and
thing. I worry, and I'm like, well, I'm committed, but what if they're not? Because in situationships, you're usually not in a loyal situationship. Some are, but it just depends. For me, I think that they should happen because it's like just jumping into a relationship, like a true relationship, probably isn't the greatest idea for some people. It's like good to get to know someone, like start off as friends and then, you know, get into something more romantic, and that's where the situationship comes in. But if it's just a situationship and that's it, and there's no like end goal of like, okay, are we gonna get into a relationship or what? Then it's almost like pointless. But what works for you might not work for me, and everyone's different. I just know that I go into dating with a goal. That goal is to find my person because
you desperately want to be somebody's wife. You don't want all of the trappings. You don't want all the responsibilities of being a wife or of being in a long-term relationship. You just want to be able to say to us, this is my wife, or to show us the ring. Actually, you didn't even wear your rings when you had them. You just want to be able to be like, I am engaged. This is my wife. Or for someone to say, Amber is my wife. You're much like Foodie, where you want everybody to know that you are owned, but you don't want, you're not going to be okay with the responsibilities and the emotional commitment and just the work that goes into a long-term relationship. Because, girl, let me tell you, that relationships are great. I'm not mad, but they take effort, right? Especially if you want them for the long haul. All right? And your shit, girl, whoever ends up with you for the long haul is gonna have the patience of Job. Like, just like, honest to God, sainthood, Job, or they're a vegetable and they can't get away from you. That's all I can come up with.
That is what I love about love, is like having your best friend and
You love the word love. You like looking at love's ass. You don't actually understand what love is. You just like the way it sounds coming out of your mouth.
having your other half and having your person and someone that can rely on you and you can rely on them. And yeah, it's just like,
you got enough Legos, you can build that person. Let's go.
A best friend that you find extremely sexy. All right, you guys, now it is time for bad choices. Would you accept $500,000, but every time?
Oh, no. I just realized that's what we're doing. Whoosh. Done. I'm not even listening to these. Not even listening. Don't care. We're not doing it. Nope. Anyhow. All right. If you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and put a happy... No, let's not do that. What do we want? I don't know. What do we got? What kind of... Where's my phone? Give me a second. We're going to go find something. Okay, on my phone, there's like a little blazing comet emoji. It's like... It's next to like the moon emojis on my phone. I have a Samsung. So let's do the comet, the falling comet that's on fire because it's so freaking hot outside. And that's because the comet is coming to annihilate us all. So anyway, let's do that one. Let's do that, the falling comet emoji. Because why not? So there you go. Your emoji is the falling flaming comet emoji. I don't know. I can just start looking these up so I actually know if it's there or not. And that's all I've got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think of the answers to things down below. I know I was a little spicy because, well, maybe not spicy. I know I was a little like, I don't feel good. And like, I know I'm in the euphoric stage, which doesn't necessarily mean I'm happy. If you know, you know. Anyway, if you don't know, I hope you never find out. Like, if you don't suffer from migraines, I hope you never do. Anyway, so all of that down there below. I hope you guys enjoyed your long weekend. I know I enjoyed mine. I think I enjoyed mine. I don't honestly remember. What else am I trying to say here? I probably did cut out multiple questions because I don't care. This was not a Baby reaction, and several of these were just irrelevant. I don't care what instrument she wants to play because it's never going to happen, and it doesn't matter. So there we go. And I also cut out Robot Joe or whatever the hell his name was. So, excuse me. But once again, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. We did hit 12K. And so as soon as I get, probably the end of the month, we will get our sponsor kitten and, well, cat. And I don't think it'll be a kitten. Either way, we will have our new sponsor cat, and as soon as I get pictures, I will have that up for everybody to see, so we can all go, oh. So basically, by August, we should have the sponsor cat, probably. But thank you, everybody, for getting us to 12K. And I guess when we get to 14K, we'll sponsor another one. So, I don't know, maybe we'll have two of them at the same time. I doubt it, but maybe. It could happen. Depends on how fast we get to 14K. Took a while, and that's fine. I'm just saying. Ida was the first time we adopted. The first time we sponsored, the cat's name was Ida. And I think Ida got adopted after, I want to say like, no, it didn't take longer than 6 months. Because I feel like Ida got adopted around December. Because Ida was gone by the new, well, Ida was adopted out by the beginning of the year. Which is why I was like, well, I guess we have to do another one. So that's what I'm saying. They don't seem to hang around very long, which is good. But we'll be sponsoring another one. Anyway, I'm rambling. So don't forget, your emoji is the comments. That's all I've got for you guys. So I will see everybody in the next one. Bye.
My outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.